Gabby with Cooking with the Cullinans, and today we are going to make this delicious raw apple cake. I love this apple cake, especially in the fall. It's really great if you have some fresh apples. It's also a favorite for Thanksgiving, something besides pumpkin pie. Hi, I'm Gabby with Cooking with the Cullinans, and today we are going to make one of my family's, so my parents' favorite desserts. I usually make it in the fall or for Thanksgiving, and it is called raw apple cake. So if you are fortunate enough to live somewhere where they pick apples fresh in the fall, certainly go grab some fresh apples. I actually chose some Honeycrisp apples from my grocery store. So you're going to need 3 cups worth of diced apples. You're going to need some flour, sugar, salt, some cooking oil. I chose to use canola oil today for this. You're going to need some baking soda, vanilla, 3 eggs, and then I pretty much always use this nonstick cooking spray. I don't know if you can see it. Some nonstick cooking spray, and then we are going to make this in a bundt pan or tube pan as they used to call them. All right, it is delicious, and I hope you enjoy it as a kind of a new favorite to add to your fall desserts. Okay, so now I have all of my ingredients ready, and I've cut up my apples, and it's 3 cups of apples. So you may use 2, 3, just kind of depends on the size of the apple. And as I said, I used Honeycrisps. So before we put this in the mixer, I want to kind of just remind you or show you, some may not know, how you actually measure out flour. So a lot of people just put the scoop in, push everything against the side, and they call that 1 cup of flour. So that's actually not the correct way to measure the flour. So you're going to take your measuring cup, you're going to scoop the flour into the measuring cup, and you're not packing it down. We're just scooping it in there. And then once you have your flour scooped in your measuring cup, you're going to take a knife and you're just going to kind of level this out, and you want to be sure that all the little crevices are filled. But we are not going to tap it to make it all settled. All right, so that's our 3 scoops of flour, or 3 cups of flour. So in a moment, we are going to start this out in the mixer, where we are going to cream together the eggs, the sugar, and the vegetable oil. All right, so now we are going to use a mixer. You can use a stand mixer if you have one. If you don't, you can use a handheld mixer. So we are going to go ahead and add our sugar, 2 cups of sugar. We're going to add our vegetable oil, 1.5 cups. And we are going to add our 3 eggs to the mixer. You're going to want to start the mixer out on a low speed. Okay, once we have creamed together the eggs, the sugar, and the vegetable oil, which by the way, it won't take very long to cream that all together, and it's going to be very liquidy. Then we're going to go ahead and add in the vanilla, and we're just going to mix this enough just so that it all comes together. And then we are slowly going to add the flour, the baking soda, and also the salt in. So we're going to kind of add those in slowly and scraping down the sides of the bowl as we go. Okay, so I have been mixing up out of the flour, giving it a good little mix, and now I'm gonna actually add in the apples, and you can see the consistency of the dough. It's very wet, and it's honestly what makes this cake so delicious. It's so moist. All right, you probably noticed that I did leave the skin on the apple cubes. You certainly don't have to. You can take the skin off of the apples. I just kind of like the extra little bit of color and flavor that comes from the skin on the apple. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this all together, and then the next step, we're gonna go ahead and put it in our bundt pan and get it ready for the oven. Okay, so now all of the ingredients are mixed together in the mixer, and this is what the dough is gonna look like. So you can see that it's very loose and all of the apples are all mixed up in it. So I'm gonna go ahead now and put it in this prepared bundt pan, which I have used cooking spray for. Okay, so this is what the raw apple cake looks like in this pan. And I'm gonna cook it in the oven now at 375 degrees for about 1 hour. Okay, this is the raw apple cake out of the oven, and it was in the oven for about 50 minutes. So once you reach about the 15-minute mark or so, maybe a little before that, you're gonna wanna test it with a toothpick and just be sure that it comes out clean. All right, now I'm gonna let it cool on a cooling rack. I'm gonna grab one for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna turn it upside down and out of the pan. You can also cook this in a 9x13 pan. Makes it a little bit easier to cut into pieces, but I really like how it looks as long as it comes out right. Fingers crossed. I really like how it looks when you use a tube pan. All right, see you in 15 minutes. Okay, so here is the raw apple cake. It has cooled down. I put it on this plate, and now I get to have a slice. Yay! So I do love using the bundt cake or tube pan, whichever you call it, because it is so pretty, makes a nice little ring like this, and it also is nice, shows you exactly where to cut it. All right, so this is the raw apple cake. Look at that. It has a really nice color on the inside, and I love that it's a little crusty on the outside. You could certainly make a glaze to put over the top, but I find that it is absolutely perfect just like this. So let's have a little bite. Yummy. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the raw apple cake, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.